Hello, Chem 44 students. This is Professor Medjo Anagila, and this video lecture is part 4 of the Module 7, Carboxylic Acid and Derivatives. In here, we're actually going to focus more on the derivatives of carboxylic acid, list them down, identify them down, and proceed on with nomenclature according to the IUPAC rules and some generalized properties. So when we say derivatives of carboxylic acid, these are actually organic compounds which takes the general structure that have acyl group. So the acyl group contains that characteristic C double bond O with an R group attached to it, and then the remaining attachment is an electronegative atom. So carboxylic acid is the base form. So we have OH as the Z element. And then when we change this, say to an OR, it becomes an ester. When the Z group is OC double bond OR, it is an acid anhydride. And in here, if it is a halide, particularly chloride and bromide, it is referred to as acid halide. So acid bromide and acid chloride. And then lastly, when it is attached to NH2 or NHR or NR2, these are referred to as amide. These are the traditional derivatives of carboxylic acids. On the other hand, nitrile, wherein carbon is actually triply bonded to nitrogen, it doesn't contain any acyl group, but it has been historically categorized under derivatives of carboxylic acid because it follows the same chemistry. We see here that carbon is actually, it has a bond, 3 bonds with a more electronegative atom, just like the rest of the carboxylic acid derivatives. So for this purpose, we're going to be focusing on these 5 compounds as derivatives of carboxylic acids. There are 2 more derivatives of carboxylic acid, the thioester. So it looks like an ester, but instead of oxygen, we replace it with sulfur. And then the acyl phosphate, wherein it looks like an anhydride, but instead of a carbon base, it is a phosphorus base. And these groups, the 2 oxygens, can be the O- groups, or it can also be OR groups. These 2 are actually biological esters. It is also important to take note that esters can be in the cyclic form, and if it is in the cyclic form, it is referred to as lactone, and the way to assign or to name this lactone, to differentiate one lactone from the other, is to count the number of carbons in the chain, or rather in the ring, and identify it accordingly with the Greek symbol. So alpha, beta, gamma, and delta, epsilon, and then so on. So in this case, this is a gamma lactone. It has a 5-membered ring with 3 carbons. So this one is a delta lactone, a 6-membered ring with 4 carbons. Similarly, similar to ester, amides can also be found in a cyclic form, and these are called lactam. And Similar notation is also assigned for amides depending on the number of carbon in the ring. So this is a beta-lactam, whereas this 5-membered ring with 3 carbon is a gamma-lactam. So naming carboxylic acid derivatives, let's go first with ester. So RCOOR prime or RCO2R prime. Okay, so this is the general structure for ester. Now there are two groups that we need to identify. The R, which is, if you're going to think of it, it's part of the original or the acyl group, and the R prime, which is part of the electronegative group that is attached to the acyl group. So we need to identify both the R groups. So for the one that is attached to the acyl group through the electronegative group, so identify that alkyl group, and then we need to identify the parent carboxylic acid that will give this structure, the acyl structure. And then from the name of the carboxylic acid, we drop the ic acid or the IC acid. Instead, use the suffix OATE, OATE. So in these examples, the first one, the OR group is an ethyl, and the acyl group is actually an ethanoic acid. So with this, the name of the ester is ethyl ethanoate. For the second example, the name of this group is tert-butyl. So this structure is tert-butyl. And essentially the name of the carboxylic acid that bears the cyclohexane substituent and the carboxylic acid is attached to the ring. This is cyclohexane carboxylic acid. So with this, we're going to name the ester as tert-butyl cyclohexane carboxylate. So in this, we're not really changing the ic acid with OATE, but instead just an ALT. So this is not carboxyloate. It's just carboxylate. This part, we see that this is a highly symmetric diester. The structure has two esters, ester group on it. And it is very symmetric. So we have methyl groups on the OR, and the three straight chain dicarboxylic acid is called malonic acid. So we are going to name this as dimethyl malonate. Now moving on to the next carboxylic acid derivative, we have the acid halide, RCOX, either as chloride or bromide. So the name is quite simple. Again, identify the parent carboxylic acid, change the IC acid to OYL, OYL, or the carboxylic acid to carbonyl, and then second word will be just the name of the halide. So with these examples, the carboxylic acid again is cyclohexane carboxylic acid, so we drop the carboxylic acid and just change it to carbonyl. So this will become cyclohexane carbonyl chloride. Here, we're going to actually name this according to the common name, the accepted common name, which is benzoic acid. So drop the IC acid, benzoyl, and then since this is PR, this becomes bromide. So benzoyl bromide. This, if we're going to check the inclusion of the acyl group, that carbon would be carbon position 1. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is a 4 carbon chain with a methyl group on the second carbon. And a 4 carbon chain carboxylic acid is butanoic acid. So therefore, this will become 2-methyl butanoyl chloride. 2-methyl butanoyl chloride. Again, we're going to assign the position of the acyl group as the acyl carbon as carbon 1. There are some exemptions to this, especially those common names for the alkyl groups. So instead of OYL, it actually ends with -il, with a YL. So first one is the carbon 1, which is 4-mil. And then carbon 2 accepted also would be the acetyl. So instead of ethanoyl, acetyl can also be used. Propionyl for the 3 carbon. For the 4 carbon, butyryl. And then the dioic acid, the dicarboxylic acid. For the 2 carbon dicarboxylic acid, we have oxalyl. 3 carbon atom would be malonyl. 4 carbon atom is succinyl. And then the 5 carbon atom is glutaryl. So these common names for the acyl group are accepted per the IUPAC naming. Now, for the acid anhydride, so for the acid anhydride, there's one situation wherein the R group is equivalent to the R minus. So that's asymmetric acid anhydride. So since both sides are equivalent, the naming is quite simple. Just identify what the carboxylic acid is, drop the acid, and just change it to anhydride. So with these examples, so these are symmetric examples. 2 carbon straight chain carboxylic acid is acetic. So this is acetic anhydride. This one, the one that has the aromatic ring, is benzoic. So this is benzoyl anhydride. And then, this is not a lactone. Okay? It is an anhydride that comes from a carboxylic acid, or a dicarboxylic acid to be specific. And the dicarboxylic acid has 4 carbon atoms on it. So at 4 carbon atom, dicarboxylic acid's common name, the accepted IUPAC common name, is the succinic. So just drop the acid. So this would be succinic anhydride. So symmetric, just simply drop the acid and then use the anhydride. Now for anhydrides that are unsymmetric, R group is different from R prime group. So we need to identify these carboxylic acids, the left side and the right side, and whichever comes first alphabetically should be named first. drop the acid, and then add anhydride. So for this case, the first one, the one on the left is actually a benzoic acid. The one on the right is ethanoic acid. But the one on the right, it is also accepted by IUPAC to be named this as acetic acid. So therefore, the name of this anhydride can be acetic benzoic anhydride. But if we use the ethanoic, that would become benzoic ethanoic anhydride. Remember, alphabetical. So acetic first before benzoic, but benzoic first before ethanoic. In the second example, this group is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 carbon chain. So that's hexanoic. And then we have 1, 2, 3. This is propanoic. But it is also accepted for a 3 carbon chain to be called it as propionic. So this is hexanoic propanoic anhydride or hexanoic propionic anhydride. So in alphabetization, since this both starts with P, so same sequence. Now the next carboxylic acid derivative that we're going to name would be the amide. The amide can be of 3 different types depending on how substituted the nitrogen is. So the first one would be the primary amide, wherein it is not yet substituted. So we have NH2. Naming it is quite simple. Just drop the endings of the acid, be it ic acid, oic acid, or ilic acid, and then change it to amide. So for these examples, a 2-carbon carboxylic acid is acetic acid. So drop the ic acid there, add amide, it becomes acetamide. Here, this is benzoic acid. Drop the oic acid, add amide, it becomes benzamide or benzamide. For this one, this is actually a cyclopentane carboxylic acid and it is substituted. The position of the amide group is position 1. Therefore, this is position 2. So it has a 2-methyl substituent. So the full name would be 2-methyl cyclopentane carboxylic acid. If it is carboxylic acid, drop the ilic acid, change to amide. So 2-methyl cyclopentane carboxamide. Now for the case of substituted amides, so in here we have an R group substituting one of the hydrogens, so this is a secondary amide. And if we have both the hydrogens are substituted by an R group, it is a tertiary amide. So what is important here is to name the alkyl groups on the nitrogen separately, and to name it, especially for the tertiary amide, so name the alkyl group, present it alphabetically, and to indicate that those alkyl groups are on the nitrogen rather than on the part of the carboxylic acid. So we're going to use the prefix N. And then for the acyl group part, just simply name it as well as amide. So dropping the ic acid, oic acid, ilic acid to amide. So in these two examples, the first one is a secondary amide. So this group is an ethyl group, and then this group, a 1-carbon carboxylic acid, takes actually the formic acid name. So the full name of this is ethyl, so N-ethyl formamide or formamide. The second example, we have 2 different groups on the nitrogen, an ethyl, the CH2CH3, and a methyl. And then the carboxylic acid group here is the benzoic acid. So to name the group on the nitrogen, although methyl is the shorter one, it doesn't take that it will be named first. It still should be alphabetical. So ethyl will be named first before methyl. And to indicate that these are both on the nitrogen, so that's N-ethyl, N-methyl, and then the carboxylic acid is benzoic acid. Drop the oic acid, add amide, so it becomes benzamide. So N-ethyl, N-methyl, benzamide. Now let's try some examples. First off, draw the structures given the names of the following compounds. 5-methyl heptanoyl chloride. So work on it first for a few seconds. So the acid derivative that is named here is an acid chloride. So we see here that it has 7 carbon in the chain, including the acyl group C double bond O. And then on the 5th position, we have the methyl group. The acyl group is position carbon 1. So this is what we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we have the methyl group there, 6, and then 7. And then of course we have the chloride. The second example is sec-butyl 2-methyl hexanoate. Kindly work on it for a few seconds. So this is, by the name, the functional group is actually an ester. And in ester, the first alkyl group that we name is the R group on the OR. And this means that this second name is, or the second part of the name is the carboxylic acid base form. So we have a 6-membered, 6 alkyl chain because it's hexanoate with the acyl carbon as carbon 1, and on carbon position 2 we have a methyl there. And then the substituent OR has 4 carbon atom because it is a butyl, and the connection would be through the second carbon atom. So with that, the structure is as follows. So this is the hexanoate part, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Position carbon 1, therefore the methyl group is on position 2. And then for the OR group, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have connectivity on the second carbon because this is a sec-butyl group. And lastly, please work on N-isobutyl and methyl butanamide. So, because we see the notation N and N here, that means that the 2 alkyl groups are actually on the nitrogen of the amide. So it is a tertiary amide. And how long the carboxylic acid that is base from the amide, or that is the base for the amide, it's going to be a 4 carbon, including the acyl group. So definitely methyl is 1 carbon. Isobutyl, because of the butyl group here, it's 4 carbon. But the isoconnectivity, meaning my notation here is somewhat, it makes a Y shape. Okay, so 4 carbon, and then there should be a Y shape. That Y shape is actually coming from a CH that has 2 methyl groups on it, and then on that same CH will be the remaining carbon. That would be where the rest of the chain will go. Since this is a 4-membered 4 butyl is 4 carbon, so only remaining CH2 group here. And that's where the attachment to the OR for the ester part will come from. So the structure will be as follows. So this would be the methyl. This would be the isobutyl. We can see one. This is the CH, and then CH3 group that I'm referring to for the iso part. And then to make it butyl, it should be 4 carbon. So one another carbon here, which is a CH2, and that's the one directly attached to the nitrogen. And then we have butanamide, so that's 4 carbon, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Carbon position 1 for the acyl. So this is the N-isobutyl N-methyl butanamide. Now, moving on, let's now give the IUPAC names given the structures of the following carboxylic acid derivatives. So let's work on the first one. Alright, so as we can see here, this is composed of a 2 acyl group that is and has an oxygen in between them. So this is an anhydride, and it is an asymmetric anhydride with what the groups are would be this group is the benzoic, and then a 3 carbon carboxylic acid is propanoic or propionic. So the name of this is benzoic propionic anhydride or benzoic propionic anhydride. So let's take a look into this second example. Please work on it on your own first. Alright, for this example, so this is the OR group, and this is the carboxylic acid group. So for the carboxylic acid groups, that's a 3 carbon atom. It has 3 carbon atoms, so that's propanoic or propanoate, propionate or propanoate. And then this is also a 3 carbon atom, but this is the characteristic Y structure that I've been mentioning. So this is an isopropyl. So the name of this is isopropyl propionate or isopropyl propanoate. And then lastly, we have this one. So please work on this for a few seconds. Okay, so for this, the carboxylic acid takes precedence over the C triple bond N in becoming the parent functional group, the main functional group. So we're going to name this as a substituted carboxylic acid. So specifically, since it has the aromatic ring, so this is a benzoic acid, and the substituent CN cyano will be at the 2 position or the ortho position. So this is named as ortho cyanobenzoic acid or 2-cyanobenzoic acid. So that's for naming the different acid derivatives, carboxylic acid derivatives. Now, generally, when we look into the properties of these carboxylic acid derivatives, just as with carboxylic acid, because of that polar C double bond as well as the C triple bond group for the nitrile, these compounds generally have the dipole-dipole interaction. So that's polar. In addition, for amide, since it has NH, it can exhibit intermolecular H bonding similar to this. So that's the H bond, wherein the NH is forming an H bond with the CO bond of the other amide group. But this is only possible for the primary and the secondary amides. As such, when we compare the boiling points and the melting points, we should be expecting the primary and the secondary amides to be having higher boiling point than those of comparable molecular weight, even for derivatives, carboxylic acid derivatives. If we take a look into the other acid derivatives, definitely because of the presence of the dipole-dipole interaction, they are quite comparable to the known polar compounds, especially considering same molecular weight, as what we can see in this series. So for the acid chloride, ester, and then ketone, both of these have the C double bond of polar groups, and their molar masses are actually within few units difference from one another, and we can see here that the boiling point actually quite comparable, especially for the chloride, acid chloride, and that of the ester. But if we check with a primary amide, because of that hydrogen bonding possibility for the NH2 groups, so the huge increase in the boiling point. In terms of solubility, as organic solvent, or inorganic solvent, they are quite soluble regardless of what the size is. But with water, there's also the limitation wherein if it is about, this should be 5 carbons, roughly 5 carbons and less than, it is soluble in water. So because of the possibility of hydrogen bonding with water. And the hydrophobic group is still quite small that the hydrogen bonding can still overcome. The net interaction, the hydrogen bonding is still quite favorable. But if it has greater than, say, 5 carbon atoms, it becomes insoluble with water because of that large nonpolar alkyl groups. So in this list, we can see here, but they are within 4 to 5 total number of carbon atoms. So we can see the trend that they are actually quite soluble. Okay, so it ranges from very soluble to slightly soluble, depending on the functionality. But comparing the size, it ranges between carbon 3 or carbon 2 to carbon 5 on the parent chain. But please take note though that generally acid chlorides are susceptible to hydrolysis when it reacts or it is in water. So instead of dissolution, it actually reacts with water. So some interesting esters and amides, particularly those that are naturally occurring. Of those carboxylic acid derivatives, these are the ones that are mostly natural occurring or mostly resembles naturally occurring substances. Esters are very known to be having very pleasant odors. Okay, and these are the esters that are associated with the odors of some of tropical fruits like banana, the isoamyl acetate, mango, the ethyl butanoate, and pineapple. So methyl to methyl butanoate. So these are the um, characteristic smell or odor of these fruits. So that's why the ester, industrially speaking, it's quite relevant because it has application in flavors and fragrances. So if we take a look into vitamin C, the water-soluble vitamin, although the solubility actually is accounted for this many hydroxyl group, but we check it actually looking like a lactone with a double bond in it. So a cyclic ester. Ester is also the functional group for, or one of the functional group, as we can see here or here, for cocaine. Unfortunately, so that's all. The ester functionality is also found in cocaine. And then for amide, the importance of amide is it is actually the primary connectivity of the amino acid that makes up the protein. So the amino acid that makes up the protein, they are connected chemically, and the bond there is actually an amide bond. And we can see also amide bonds in penicillin. So this is an amide bond that is not part of a ring, and it also has a lactam, which is the cyclic amide. So that's all for now. Thank you very much.